Next up is another TV show, another very popular property that's getting the TV show treatment. This is one I didn't see coming, but after reading the story and all the different stories, it makes sense. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. I might check it out, but it's not my thing. But I think this may be the best for it. And it kind of caught me off guard a bit, but what I'm talking about here is Terminator. Everybody knows Terminator, right? Well, the Terminator's getting a TV show. Won't be the first time. Terminator's had a TV show. They had the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I think there was another one. There was at least that one. And tons of movies. The movies have definitely, in most people's opinions, gone downhill since Part 2. The last one didn't do nearly as well as they were hoping, critically or commercially. Critics were really divided on it. Some people thought it was the best one since 2. Some people thought it was just trash. Me, myself, I thought it was fine. It didn't, light the world on fire. I was okay with it. I thought it was better. Of all these sequels after 2, I thought it was one of the better ones. It had its issues, and there were some things in it I didn't really care for, but overall, it was entertaining enough. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. But they're doing a TV show now, but not just a TV show. They're doing an animated TV show. And let's look through this, and I'll explain why I now think, at first I didn't, but now I think that might be a good idea. It says, Skydance, which is the company that owns Terminator, are teaming with Netflix for a brand new anime series based on the Terminator IP that will be handled by Japanese animation studio Production IG, known for the Ghost in the Shell series and animated films. I'm not a huge Ghost in the Shell fan. I've seen it. I can't say that I'm just hardcore about it. I remember it being pretty interesting and enjoying it. I'm not the hugest anime fan. There's a few of them I like and I've seen, but I don't watch a ton of anime. But Ghost in the Shell is highly regarded, so that's a good sign to me. There's a company that knows what they're doing in this space that's taking this over. That's a plus. It says the icing on the post-apocalyptic cake is that Mattson Tomlin will be the writer, showrunner, and executive producer on the streamer's anime series. Tomlin is on a tear lately, scoring coveted jobs left and right. He is co-writing. This is written really weird. I promise I can read. This is just written. The way that it's written out is kind of weird. But anyway, he is co-writing the upcoming DC Comics film The Batman with director Matt Reeves and is known for writing Netflix's Project Power. He is also developing a feature film based on the beloved Capcom video game franchise Mega Man. Okay, so The Batman looks really interesting. So that under his writing credentials seems good. Project Power wasn't the greatest movie, but it wasn't terrible. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a neat idea. And apparently that idea came from him, so that's good. I didn't know they were making a Mega Man movie. Doesn't surprise me, but he's apparently working on that. I don't know how throwing that in there really gives him any more, clout, because it's not even out yet. And video game movies typically don't, somebody says, "Oh, I wrote a video game movie." People are like, "Oh, did you now?" So I don't know. This guy might be right for it. We'll find out. It is, as I said, under the Ghost in the Shell creators studio, so maybe they'll be able to, if there's any issues, they'll be able to kind of reel it all in. It says, this won't be the first time the Terminator has graced the small screen. As I said, as Fox once aired, the short-lived Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's probably why they canceled it. That's just hard to say. Which starred Game of Thrones and Dread actress Lena Headey. I didn't know she was... Yeah, she is in that. I like Lena Headey. I might need to check that out. I've never seen that show. I'm a big Terminator fan, but I've never seen that show. Wonder if it's any good. It didn't last long, but that doesn't mean anything. Lots of shows are cut off early. But anyway, this one... So, when I first read this, I was like, Terminator, really? Is an anime? I mean, I guess it could work, but Terminator's always just kind of been like a big movie thing. I don't know. How do I feel about this? Is it going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, or is it going to be just the Terminator universe? We don't really have all that information. I imagine it's just going to be in that universe and not just straight up Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time. Whether he shows up or not, who knows? But, so yeah, at first I was kind of torn on it, but then I started thinking about it. These movies have just not the Terminator franchise, the Terminator name as a whole has just really, it doesn't hold the same kind of like prestige that it once did. Since Cameron gave it up and stopped directing them after 2, it just, it's not, they're not the same. People don't really care anymore. They don't really care about the Terminator because they've been fairly lackluster, honestly. At best, none of them have been great. None of them have even lived up to somewhat what Part 2 was, or even Part 1. So they just, at best, they've been mildly entertaining. So it's really been going downhill. And after that last one and how it just was a financial, it doesn't matter about commercially, or it doesn't matter about critics. Financially, the movie just didn't make money. It lost money. It didn't make money. So yeah, that thing was, after that happened, I said, well, that's it for Terminator. At best, we'll get is a Terminator reboot, and it'll probably be a while. They're going to give Terminator some time. But that's why I think this might be a good idea. This will be an opportunity for Terminator to live on, tell stories in that universe, build that universe, and maybe build up some good grace. Maybe develop some really good, interesting stories and characters beyond just the John Connor, Sarah Connor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, T-800, these characters that we've had pretty much the same characters, different actors, but same characters since 1984 when the original came out. We've added a couple, John, but that's always been the trifecta, the T-800, Sarah Connor, John Connor in some capacity. So it's their story. It's the Connor story. So I think it's time, have this show branch away from the Connors and just like tell some other stories within this universe. There's got to be tons of people out there, but stay true to the feel and the what the original 2 films were, and I think they'll be okay. Maybe for all we know, this will come out. It'll do gangbusters. It'll be great. It'll build up some of that goodwill. It'll tell some really interesting, great stories, and it'll rekindle that interest in Terminator. And one day we might get another movie that kind of falls in line with this animated series. Or it might come out and be total trash and just put the final nail in that coffin. I don't know. It does say in here that Cameron is somewhat involved. His company, Skydance, is part of it. So, he's going to be somewhat involved. I doubt the guy's going to be heavily involved in this movie. They might ask him some questions. He might sign off on some stuff. He's busy with Avatar and trying to get another Alita movie made and all that. So he's got a lot on his plate. I doubt he's going to be worrying about Terminator. I think he gave up on Terminator a long time ago. He just said, I'm done with Terminator. It was actually taken out of his hands a long time ago. His company does have the rights to it again, but I don't think the guy really wants to do anything with the property anymore. If he did, here's the thing. People are like, well, James Cameron needs to come back. If Cameron had an idea, if he wanted to do something with Terminator, he would have done it after Terminator 2. But there's not, and he is the type of director who says, I don't want to make a movie just for money or because people are hollering for it. I want to make a movie because I have a great idea for it. If so, we would have already gotten True Lies 2. Or, The Abyss 2. I don't know about The Abyss 2. I don't know who's yelling for that. But you know what I mean. He doesn't make a sequel unless he feels there is a story to be told. And he apparently didn't think there was a story to be told after Terminator 2. But they're going to tell some more stories within this universe in an animated way. We'll see how it goes. I do see this could be promising. Once again, I'm not a huge anime fan. Might check some of them out when it comes out. But I hope it does rekindle interest in Terminator and kind of just dig more into that world. So maybe we can get another Terminator universe movie that stays to the tone of the originals, stays to the spirit of the originals, but maybe tell some other stories. I'd be okay with that as long as they're good, interesting stories with compelling characters. Thanks for checking out this clip from the JarCast Movie Podcast. If you like this and want more, then check out the JarCast live stream every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time on the Jacob Anders Review YouTube channel, where you can also find movie reviews every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You can also listen to the entire podcast on all major podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Google, and iTunes. So if you prefer audio, whichever one is your preferred, check it out there. Once again, I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching. And as always, stay sexy, YouTube.